Welcome back to another episode of the Discovery Pod with Eve. I am your host, Eve Richards. We've got a very exciting show today. We've got two amazing guests with us, but more on them in a minute. I am so excited. So please make sure you watch us on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you could listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever podcast is available. We are available every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. I am joined today by my co-host, Tony Blass, who's an actor, producer. He does it all. Tony, welcome back to the Discovery Pod with Eve. Tell us, what are you working on that we should know about?
Well, the most immediate thing is I'm going to be going to Korea next week to sing in the Itaewon Music Spirit Festival. And in addition to competing in front of music industry people from around the world, I will be singing with recording stars from all different countries, and we're going to all sing We Are the World at the end.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. I did not even know Tony could sing. Well, I kind of did in a little bit, but this is so amazing, Tony. Congratulations, and I hope all goes well. So you're traveling next week for a few days to Korea?
Yeah. And, it's just really exciting to be able to do something different. I don't like to put limits on myself. I like to travel the world and feel a part of everything that's going on, not just be limited to being here in Hollywood. And that's why I'm so excited about our guest today.
Yes, of course. But also, this podcast is all about inspiring others around the globe to go out and chase their dreams. And so we bring in thought leaders, actors, authors, everyone. But one of the things that I thought was so admirable for me was to see how much weight Tony has lost. He's lost over 80 pounds. And I want to celebrate Tony for his success, his weight loss journey. It's incredible. He looks fantastic. Tony, tell us, what did you do?
Well, what I did was I got a job as co-host on your podcast. And I am not going to sit here for another season like, whatever that guy on Star Wars is, the big guy. Jabba the Hutt. I don't want to be Jabba the Hutt. I'm so inspired by her beautiful appearance and great figure and just like incredible fashion sense. So it's really during the break I decided to really get out there and make a change, be that person, be better than I was.
Tony, you're too sweet, but you lost the weight not because of Eve. You lost this because of your enthusiasm, because of your healthy lifestyle. So we've got to celebrate you. I think it's fantastic. Congratulations. Good motivation for anyone out there. If you checked out some videos from last season and you'd look at Tony today, he looks like a totally different person in a very, very good way. I am totally motivated. So we've got such an incredible show today. Before we introduce our guest, please make sure to watch us again every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel. Tell your friends about us and listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever podcast is available. Tony, introduce our guest today.
Okay, well, we're going to have two guests today. So we'll be having Leonard Clifton, who is an model, actor, writer, lecturer, cosplayer, too. I'm going to ask you about that as well. And then the second guest also is an actor and a producer and a writer. And so I'm so excited to meet people who feel that they can do it all. And they have the courage and the talent and the drive to go out and achieve all of those things.
Yes.
So I'd like to begin by asking Leonard, who has been in the cult classic Bring It On, and now is lecturing at renowned institutions on Afrofuturism, modeling, acting, writing, lecturing. How has this career, how did you manage to do all of this, and then how did it influence your writing?
Well, first I want to say thank you for that great introduction. podcast. It all happened organically, literally. I started off actually as a model. I worked with renowned designer Carl Kanai. I've done an ad for Saks Fifth Avenue, Calvin Klein. This is back in the 90s. I did an ST campaign, also for Israel. My name is Leonard Clifton. I'm named after Leonard Nimoy, so sci-fi has always been in me.
Yes.
Which is wild, and that's when I mentioned an ST campaign I did for Israel. The producers came from Tel Aviv.
Wow.
And I was chosen out of 3,000 models. I had about 5 callbacks for that, and then when I booked it, I was like, wow. So I was introduced to like knowing about like the Israelis. Like, if you're 18, when you turn 18, man or woman, you have to go in the army. You have to do all of that. So it was really interesting to hear about their lives, their cultures, and they just really embraced me. So moving on from there, I had the opportunity to work on a really iconic Tupac music video. It was Tupac Temptations, and that was a pantheon of all these 90s hip-hop artists like Salt and Pepper, Tretch, Be Real from Cypress Hill, Coolio. Isaac Hayes is in the video because they sample one of Isaac Hayes' songs. The list goes on. Bill Bellamy, Jada Pinkett was in it before she married Will Smith. It was really iconic. You can see that the list of the cast on my IMDb page. They even show Taye Diggs. So that was my introduction to Hollywood through there and doing a lot of modeling at that time. And from there, I was honored to be casted in Steven Spielberg's Amistad.
Wow.
Yes. So
incredible.
Yes. So if you look in the IMDb page, the Amistad, you'll see a letter that was Steven Spielberg signed to me with Debbie Allen.
Nice.
That was a very amazing experience, even though we know it was about the slave revolt, but I learned so much about that history, which made me start reading more about the black experience in America, like Malcolm X.
Wow.
Before the Mayflower. So as I continued to act, then I had literally right down the street from here, I worked on a film called Y2K with my good friend Slava Siderman and Trent Shumway. It's about this computer just goes haywire and it creates this zombie. So in the building, like people are getting killed. One woman gets kind of kidnapped. She birthed this other zombie demon creature kind of thing, and just literally one day I took my shirt off. All the girls like, "Oh, Leonard's hot." It was like, we're gonna let him live. So I killed the zombie.
Wow, that's incredible. So I see here. I know as an author, I met you. I don't know when we met, but I was so intrigued by your story and your writing, and we've been going back and forth on Instagram. But tell us, because people cannot see it, you've got all of those books that you've written.
Book one. It started off in 2012 when I first published the book, and I had a muse. I had a Australian Greek muse I met. She was my Athena character, but my real Athena is Nis Zamarodian. So, so that she kind of inspired it, and also one day I was watching Twilight, and that's when I realized I didn't see any black or multicultural black protagonist characters in books or films, or any of that, like Harry Potter. So I got literally a little angry. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make one up. I come from an acting background. I read a lot of books. I'm a big Tolkien fan, Lord of the Rings. So literally when I started writing, I received downloads. The characters were speaking through me.
Wow.
And as I continued to write and write and write, I was writing like 18, sometimes 20 hours a day for 6 months straight. So the original book was 3 books in one. So this is book 1, this is book 2, and this is book 3. So after the book 1 was published, my mentor, his name was Reginald Rutherford, rest in peace. He died on my birthday. He was the producer on the Extra TV show. So I met him at the Grove. He was Mario Lopez's boss. He also was Marvin Gaye's. He was like his best friend.
Wow.
He was his bodyguard at one time. And he also worked with Don Cornelius. The ladies, he co-created Ladies Soul Awards with him.
Yeah.
So he came to my first book signing, was on March the 10th. The first one, when I had in 2012, I had at the Shangri-La Hotel. So I rented out this suite, and I had the event there. And after the success of that, he was really impressed. He helped me get my first book signing at Barnes & Noble at the Grove.
Wow.
And this is how the universe works. After I had that book signing, it was the same week as William Shatner had a book signing about Leonard Nimoy, who I'm named after.
Wow.
So it had his banner next to his banner, Leonard. I'm like, universe, God, what are you saying to me? So, and the day after that was Frank Miller. It was the 30th anniversary of The Dark Knight. And Stan Lee was at that one. So I'm in the middle of all these icons.
Wow, that's
this guy
incredible.
who wrote this book, I had a publisher in New York who was interested in it. When the editor left, I decided to self-publish. And me being a self-published author was able to have that event, even with this book, Eve the Soul Reapers, my short story, a gothic story about a girl who fights Grim Reapers. She has the power to restore souls where Grim Reapers take souls. So my muse is the Black Fairy Warriors, Rihanna, and Eve character is Natalie Portman, the 16-year-old Natalie Portman.
Wow.
So after the success of that, my mentor, Reginald, said, now you got to do Comic-Con. I'm like, what is Comic-Con? So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I had to figure out how I'm going to create the cosplay like design. So I found a costume designer who created it. So I found a couple models. Let's see if I can share this with you. So when I found the model who shot in San Diego Comic-Con, that is the mecca of all Comic-Cons. And
I think it's incredible. I think while you're doing that, Tony, were there any other questions that...
Well, I'm just wondering, how did you feel that you, how did you overcome, or how did you feel that you could write a book? What made you decide that you could do that, and how did you get through that?
Yeah, so I read the book, The Artist's Way. Way before I knew I was even a writer. This is probably 8 years prior. A friend of mine told me about that book. So after I was in Bring It On, the cult classic, after I did that film, it seemed like the castings I was going on was like playing bad guys. I'm like, I'm not a bad guy. And I kind of I was a little ticked off at Hollywood at that time. And I became a financial planner, so I got my license in insurance. I became an insurance broker.
Wow.
So that would finance everything I've done. And I learned from these guys from Jersey, these Jewish guys from New Jersey. They were all insurance brokers. And I learned the business through them in Encino. And actually the office is on the same block from where the Jackson estate is located.
So, what other projects are you currently working on that you would like to plug, or?
Yes, well, the Last Prince of Atlantis script, we just finished that a couple months ago.
Nice.
And I'm speaking to a couple of, I'm not going to say A-list actors, so we'll see what happens. I have an investor I've been speaking to as well. So once he put that money in escrow, I can legitimately go after all these actors I want to cast them into to make this film, this epic film.
Incredible.
Amazing. I love how you feel you can do anything. It seems like you could just like go out and, not just act and be a writer, but now you're going to be a producer and creating a film series, which, as we all know, can be a very, very lucrative profession.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I am curious the effect. Okay, so you said you did some cosplaying. Mm-hmm. Was that other work or cosplaying in your work?
No, all cosplay in my work. I do my own work.
Wow.
So the models I hired them first. I think I shared.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that. It shows like American Next Great Author. I'm also on this show called American Next Great Author. It was a pilot, the first show ever for authors. You think of American Idol, but for authors. And we shot in New Jersey.
Got it.
Last year.
Wow. We are at the 2-minute mark. So it's gone by so quickly. Wow. I know. So if you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Honestly, now I think Leonard Nimoy, because everything he represented, everything he's done has been positive. I remember one article about him when he playing Spock, because he was playing a hybrid character. It was a biracial girl. She was half black, half white. She said she identified with his character because of him kind of being an outcast from like the humans, from the Vulcans, but embraced by his human side. I think I would love to have dinner with him.
That's amazing.
Everything, it seems like the sci-fi that is in me is because I'm named after him in some sense.
Right.
Wonderful. So for folks, Leonard, it's been amazing having you. Where could folks buy all of your books?
Yes.
Learn about all of your upcoming projects, all of the things that you're working on.
Yes, leonardclifton.com. They'll take you to all my social media pages, my IMDb, Facebook, Instagram, all those things you'll find right there.
It's incredible. I wish we had more time to talk about all of the things that you've got going for you. But remember, when you're working on the movie, you've got to come back and do an interview with us. It's been so wonderful to have you with us today, Tony. This has been incredible, hearing all about what he's doing for modeling, acting, and all of the things that he's been involved with. So, folks, please make sure you watch this episode on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or listen to us on your favorite podcast platform, and watch us every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Again, Leonard, thank you so much for coming and talking with us today. It's been amazing. I can't wait to see all of the wonderful things that you're doing.
Thank you for having me. My whole goal is to inspire the world to dream bigger.
And you have. You are a true visionary.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh my God, Tony, wasn't Leonard just incredible, learning all about what he's done? It's been fantastic. So now we've got someone who's actually my friend, Wendy Wilkins. It's incredible to have her with us today. So Tony, go ahead and introduce actress, producer, writer, Wendy Wilkins.
Hello, Wendy.
Hi, Tony.
It's so exciting to meet you. I love meeting people who have such varied careers, and even starting as a policewoman in Australia, and then going on and taking over the world, acting, producing, writing, and now this
Directing, too.
Directing.
Directing.
Is there anything you can't do, Wendy?
I can't operate the camera. I let the cameraman do that.
Us too.
Or woman, camera woman or man.
So you're known for your impactful feature film Death on the Border, which showcases a stellar cast of A-list actors. And I want to ask you about that because it deals with a very topical, important subject of human trafficking.
Yes.
And you also have had a recent role on the Young and the Restless soap opera, one of my favorites, that you got critical acclaim and demonstrated your versatility as an actress. So how is it that you can do so many different kinds of expression and
Sure. Thanks, Tony. First of all, I want to say hi, Eve. So good to see you, the beautiful Eve. Thanks for having me. I didn't, if you look back, in hindsight, you can join the dots. But I think, I just keep doing things and creating, and here I am, So I never intended to direct or write a movie, but I came here as an actress, quite late in life. So I really had to start creating my own work.
Yeah.
And then I wrote this, I wrote it as a short initially, and then it became a feature, but I really wanted to shine a light on domestic violence and trafficking of children.
Incredible.
Yeah, but without it being like, oh, your shoulders are down and watching some poor trafficked kid. I wanted it's a narrative, it's not a documentary. So I believe that a creative, a narrative can sometimes, the message can stick more. And I actually couldn't put it into words, but I met a lady recently that had an Oscar-winning short, shining a light on women's rights, with the abortion issues, etc. And she put it really well that when you're watching a narrative, you actually can suspend your disbelief for a while and get into it and follow. So that's really what I wanted to do, and subliminally have this message, because it's the fastest growing crime in the world, trafficking of children.
Incredible. I mean, I just fell in love with Wendy's background when we actually met so many months back. But Wendy, what I really liked about your story, you worked as a policewoman in Melbourne.
Yes.
And transitioned to be an actress. And not only is she an actress, she also does real estate. So tell us how you were able to transition, because your background is incredible and extremely inspiring for others out there.
Well, I became a cop because at the time I didn't want to go to school for that long. I wanted to do something, to help and change the world, but I didn't want to study for that long. But the funny thing is, as an actress, you're always studying, breaking down a script or writing. So here I am studying all the time.
Yeah.
But so that's how I started out. And then I was a cop for 5 years, and I actually got to the stage where I could be a detective, but I was very young. I was 19 when I joined the police force, and I really felt like I was just putting Band-Aids on. Mm-hmm. So I had to make a decision to become a detective or move on. So cut a long story short, I left. I did a couple of little things. Then I met a developer, and he convinced me to do real estate, and I really enjoyed it. So I became the number one realtor in Melbourne. I think I sold $1 billion worth of real estate before the $1 million listing guys,
Oh, that's incredible.
And then it wasn't feeding my soul, though. When I was a little kid, I was an actress. I played as an actress. So hence that kept on drawing me. So I came to LA and via London, and here I am.
Oh, well,
and you know what? Not only is Wendy an actress, producer, director, real estate agent, she's an author. She has a book. Yes. Sex, Love, and Cop. Everyone, get a copy of this. Tell us about this book.
Well,
and what was the motivation? What motivated you to write this?
Yeah, I wrote that. I was talked into writing it, actually. It's a memoir of my 5 years as a young cop, but it's like Sex and the City, but with cops, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to have the real estate, so to speak, to make it into a TV series. But and it was actually number one on Kindle autobiography for crime for a few weeks, so I can say number one best-selling author.
Oh, that's fantastic! Whoa, I love the cover.
I'm going to sign it for you.
Yeah. This is beautiful, everyone. So please make sure you pick up a copy of this book.
Yeah, people ask me if it's my legs. I'm not telling.
Whoa! Look at that!
All right.
Oh my goodness! Incredible.
It is on the back. That's my graduation photo as a cop.
Oh my god!
I look about 12, right?
Yes. Look at her.
Oh yeah.
Wow! Oh my! That's incredible.
Yeah.
So do you ever have to explain yourself to parents, mothers, spouses, managers, of like how your CV is so varied and maybe doesn't, to the outside viewers, they don't connect those dots. How do you tell them why and what makes this okay?
I think there is a through line that I do want to make a difference in the world, make the world a better place. And I think through entertainment is one way, and also building wealth through property is giving people freedom, to choose. So I think there is a through line. That's my through line is I'm always trying to make a difference in the world, even if it's one person at a time. Yeah.
Incredible. Tell us, going back to the movie Death on the Border.
Yeah.
Just looking at all the A-listers, what are some of the behind the scenes that you could share with us?
Sure. Yeah. Eric Roberts and Danny Trejo. This was my directing debut. And
yes. You got the best.
Yeah, and I'm honored that these veteran actors, Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie days.
Incredible.
So Eric and Danny. Eric actually did a BTS saying that I was one of the best directors he's worked with. Oh my
goodness, that is fantastic!
Yeah, so that was really validating,
wow, Wendy.
But they were so much fun to work with because, first of all, they were really excited because I didn't even know this. It was a reunion for them because Eric got Danny his first movie role on Runaway Train.
Wow! Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So they were excited. And that was an Oscar-nominated or Oscar-winning movie, I think. And so they were excited to be working together again. But spoiler alert, one actually the other. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, and Danny was excited to play kind of a different kind of role, more a father figure. He plays a padre.
Yeah.
But it's okay, fans. He does get his machete moment
Wow.
in the movie.
So, when you think about all of these roles that you play and have yet to play,
Right.
how do you think of yourself? How do you define yourself?
Oh, wow. I haven't been asked that question.
There's always the first.
I haven't had time to define myself. I think I would say, I think I'm deep down a good person.
You are. I can attest to that. She is amazing.
But thank you. But
Well, even a warrior, right? You know.
Well, it's funny you say warrior because I think I can be misunderstood sometimes because I fight for people,
Yes.
and sometimes you have to be a little demonstrative, and so that might not please everybody.
So Wendy, she also has this cover. She's on the cover of.
That's a magazine I put out just for my clients, etc., for real estate.
So this is something that you pop. Good to be home.
It's not my magazine, but
Okay.
I brand it, through my real estate.
You're
yes.
also on the cover, which is fantastic. So what's up for you? What are you working on next?
Yeah, well, still promoting my movie,
Yeah.
Death on the Border, because it just went to Amazon Prime, so you can watch it for free now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Tubi as well.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so now you can watch it for free. It's on Apple as well and a few other platforms. And it just went to Australia, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, my goodness.
And
Wonderful.
the UK. So,
Wow.
family and friends and people. I just got a Facebook message from 3 high school girlfriends that said they're going to watch it together and give me a review.
Wow.
But I said, actually,
We talked about that, right?
I said, actually, can you watch it separately? And then get together to make a review. Because,
Review it.
I'm I'd say an actorpreneur, not a...
No, you are. You're fantastic. When Wendy and I met, I really just wanted her to come in and talk about the movie as well because she's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, starting as a cop, transitioning to an actress. What advice would you give anyone who's relocating from any part of the world who wants to transition into acting? Because your story is amazing.
Thank you. Well, I'll answer that, but I also have 2 other movies I'm working on prepping for.
Ooh.
And, developing a TV series and all of these things. So, working on that all the time. But the advice I would give is, well, when I first came here, I thought I'd be here for 5 minutes and get discovered. It doesn't, right? It doesn't exactly work that way. So I just think do the work, be nice, always be prepared because... you might get lucky and get one acting role, but once you're on set, if you don't perform, and that's going to be on film forever, then you're not going to get called again.
Such
But
great advice.
be nice as well, because
like that.
there's 1 or 2 people I wouldn't cast again. But we won't say who.
We wouldn't name names.
No, we won't name
right?
names
Yes.
today. It's not that kind of show, right?
No, it's
Yeah.
not Dish.
So what are you working on that you would love to plug?
So I'm writing 2 features at the moment. One's like a commercial romantic comedy. It's called Hot Australian Christmas. And another one is more dramedy, and that's called The Count and the Surgeon. It's like Emily in Paris meets Get Out. And I just got offered to write write a movie set sort of as in one location. They have the money, so it's going to be kind of set in saloon days, but I want to concentrate on women's rights, and show that, we could lose them. So we've got to be careful with that.
Yes, you've worked a lot in the area of women's rights and empowerment, I would say. Yeah. So what drives you? What do you hope to accomplish with your work?
It's hard to answer that because, well, actually, I can.
I knew it.
I love it. I love it.
Well, you can get lost along the way, but when I was pitching Death on the Border, I said if I can change one person's life for the better,
Wow.
I'll be happy. And I think that's the key, is that because you can get overwhelmed by trying to save the world. I mean,
Yes.
with everything that's all the issues and the challenges. So if you can one person at a time think that way, imagine if every person, one person at a time, was just doing the right thing, we'd all be in a better place.
Yeah. So we're in an industry where there's a lot of rejection. How do you handle rejection?
Yeah, everything I do is rejection based. It's like, a realtor, you have to be, all of the. So, I don't know why I chose that. but I think you have to just go next. And there really is the right role for you, the right client, the right, the right properties sell, because I just closed 2 real estate deals, and the people that I was working with they became friends, and it's such, it's a joy when you don't feel like you're working. So I think that's the key. Surround yourself with like-minded people.
I like that.
Like Eve.
Oh my goodness, but you too, right? I mean, you're fantastic. Who's your dream cast? Seriously, like, put it out there in the universe so it happens.
Wow. There's, so many great actors, but I would love Helen Mirren, to be.
She's incredible.
Yeah,
you never know. You just never know. Seriously,
yeah.
right?
Kate Blanchett, Nicole
amazing.
Kidman. They're all so busy though. So.
But you just never know, right? I mean, because your work on Death on the Border was fantastic. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah.
So it might happen.
I also wrote a musical with very Disney-esque with Hugh Jackman in mind. So
wow. All Australians as
you.
well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is what I hear you saying is that you're have so many varied roles, but you approach them, it seems, in more or less the same way. Confidence, competence, being ready, being for wherever it's going to go.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I think be specific, you can't really throw things at the wall and hope one sticks, But you do also have to have a lot of balls in the air.
Yes.
You can't just focus. It's kind of a balance of the two, You have to be focused, but you also can't bank on just one thing.
So we've got a lot of young, aspiring creatives out there. What advice do you give folks? Everyone wants to move to LA, and everyone thinks, as you mentioned earlier, you're going to get discovered. It's a very difficult industry to navigate. How did you not go about navigating this very complex world of...
Yeah, because it was new to me. I came late into acting, and that's why I started creating my own work in the end, because I was, going up for roles. I was second in line to stars, and they'd pick the stars all the time because it's bankable, you know? So, which makes sense.
It does.
So I started creating my own work, but I really studied. I was in the top acting classes. I studied with Ivana Chubbuck and people like Kat Shea, who's a director herself, writer. And then you form some friendships within. You have to create community.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's really important. And I think I wouldn't move to LA these days unless you had a little bit behind you.
Yeah.
You can, with self-tapes and industries, the film industry and TV industry is everywhere, really.
That's such great advice, because nowadays with self-tapes. Yeah. So Death on the Border, I love this. Oh, my goodness. This is fantastic. I don't know if folks can see this, but Tony, you want to take one of these?
Yeah.
Yes. It's now available on streaming on Amazon and Tubi, as you said, and also
Apple and a few others. You can Google it and it'll come up.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you're working on that you would love our audience to know about? Because I know you're such a busy person.
I've just had a few great auditions recently, so hopefully I'll book. I loved working on The Young and the Restless. I had a 3-episode principal role on that.
You told me about that.
Yeah, that was really great. I worked opposite Eileen Davidson.
She's fantastic. Love
2,000 episodes she's done. And
love her.
She treated me like the star.
Told
that
me.
is what why she works all the time.
Yes, and she was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well.
Yes.
So the last question that we usually ask the guests is, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so hard. Well, because I said Helen Mirren before, I'd probably like to have dinner with her.
Okay.
Because she, has really stood the test of time with her acting career and seems like a really cool lady.
Yeah.
And she's married to a director, so.
Of course, that's incredible. Wendy,
Bring him along too, yeah.
Yeah, it's such an honor to have you with us today to chat more, and we would have you back and do a full episode, right? When we, next time around. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you watch this episode with Wendy Wilkins to hear all about her incredible body of work. Listen to us every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you could listen to us on iHeartRadio, Google, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or wherever podcast is available. This has been such an incredible episode. Tony.
Okay, I learned something. Again, above all, be nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. That's
In this
great
industry,
advice. Right.
you've got to be nice.
Yes. People remember it's a small world. Really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good learnings. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for listening to us. Wendy, thank you so much. I know you're on Amazon, but you're on I can't talk. Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Plug your social.
Hi, you can follow me on @WendyWilkinsOz, OZ, as in Aussie. And let me know what you thought of my movie or anything else you want to talk about.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, please watch us every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Tell your friends on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever podcast is available. Roger Neal, thank you, Roger, for making all of this happen. So thank you, Roger. Jamie, thank you, Tony Sweet, Tony Blass, for all the weight he's lost. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tune in next week. You never know who's going to stop by. Again, thank you so much, and goodbye.